roadmap review. Let's just do a very quick whiz over the roadmap. Let me share that tab instead. So Cosign, you had a release, didn't you, this week, Dan? Or you're prepping for a release?
Yeah, one went out yesterday. We screwed something up though, so we're gonna have to do a point release. Hopefully later today. Jake's working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, the driver that makes hardware tokens work is C code, and so it works in the release, but it broke the container builds we were doing because those don't have a libc inside of them.
I see. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
so skimming over these, I don't think we've had any changes on these since we last met. No, I can't see anything jump out to you, Dan, rather than me read through them all. Distroless images signed with. Actually, that's something that's happening, isn't it? Jake's working on wiring in the public key, so we might be able to tick that soon.
Yeah, that's actually what we broke.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, hopefully today, later today.
Okay, cool. Understand. Yeah. Right. Let me come back to the meeting. So let's see. Fulcio. So root of trust, set up the protocol for key holders. Dan, Luke, Bob, Santiago, Marina. Dan, sorry, where are we with that again? I remember you talking about that. In your blog piece, you got an update, haven't you?
Yeah, Santiago actually helped out last week with the plan, and Eli's been doing some good reviews there. I think we need to firm up with the tough metadata. Looks like a little bit more. Is that right, Santiago? I think the action item was to try the Python client instead of the Go one. Is Marina here today? I don't see.
I can't. Let me check. No, I don't think she's on. No. Okay. So
yeah, we're going to try to find some time later this week, right, Santiago, to get that wrapped up.
Cool. Great. So I'll skip over the next one because Marina was going to meet with Will Woodruff to discuss PyPy implementation. Okay, Recall. So Santiago, how's your pull request? Are you getting enough eyes on that?
Yeah, I got the...
Bob did a bit of a review cycle with you, didn't he? So
is my Mac working? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Great. Yeah, I got 2 reviews. I didn't have a chance to actually address them, but I will do that today. I was swamped until yesterday at 5. I'm still recovering.
No worries. Okay. So that is it for Recall. Is Trishank on the call? He might be on holiday still. Let me have a look. No. Okay.
I think he said he gets back the 21st, so tomorrow.
Right. Okay, cool. So Cosign, Dan, anything you wanted to go over?
Yeah, the new release, if you're running it outside of a container, then go ahead and test it. It's great. It's got YubiKey support if you have one, so you can start signing with hardware stuff. That and then the device headless flow are kind of the 2 big things in the latest release. So yeah, give it a try. We're hoping to start verifying signatures inside of the Kubernetes and Istio release processes with it soon. But that needs the containers that we broke because we added YubiKeys by accident. So hopefully later today we'll be ready.
And the device flow, that's is that sort of experimental or? I mean, everything is to a degree, but.
Yeah, that uses the OAuth stuff, so that's more experimental. The YubiKey stuff is good. I wouldn't necessarily try to reuse the YubiKey that you're using for something else critical with it, but if you've got a new one, then go ahead and give it a try. YubiKey says the different apps are independent, but I haven't. Like if you're using 2FA, 502 stuff, and then they say that it's independent, and you can do stuff like wiping the private keys you use for signing, but I haven't tried that enough myself to tell you that it's safe.
Yeah.
But yeah. Give it a try though if you've got one.
Cool. And could we benefit from a GH action for the device flow setup? Or?
I think it should just work. If Mark is here, we can check it. I think we just have to update the version, but it should just work. The code detects if you're in a headless environment, and if you didn't pass any keys and stuff, it'll just do the right thing. There's some UX and polish and stuff we can do around how.
You grab the code from the log,
stuff, right?
Don't you? Yeah. So. Yeah, maybe we could have some sort of render of the code somewhere, or Okay, yeah. Are you up for looking at that, Mark? Is Mark still there? Have we lost Mark? Mark, maybe he can't hear us. Okay, I'll chat to Mark about. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Did you catch that, Mark?
No, I was away from keyboard.
No worries. Yeah. So we have Dan was just saying he has device flow in Cosign. Device flow allows you to do the unattended sign-in. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of you're up to speed on it. So we're thinking it for the GitHub action. Currently, and correct me on Dan if I'm wrong on any of this, is the code you pull it from a log. Okay. And so there might be some interesting UI thing that we can do to make it, I don't know, might be worth having a play with, see what you can come up with.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in pushing the GitHub action to do alternative forms of signing or authentication. So that seems like something I'm interested in for sure.
Cool, great. So you can always reach out to Dan, and if you need any sort of further details. Or Bob as well. Bob worked on the device flow, but I think Dan, you wrote the code, didn't you? Brought it into Go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I understood. So device flow would be used for keyless, doing the sort of like full CO,
Yes,
ephemeral key issuance and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yeah. It's device flow. I always butcher it when I try to describe it. It's a part of OpenID Connect OAuth2 spec, or whichever spec it is. And it's used where, you might have seen it used where your television, you can kind of grant like an identity provider to give you your TV access to your account. So it comes up with a pin on the TV screen, and then you go on your phone.
That's device flow.
And you put, it's for kind of devices that generally don't have a keyboard or an input, a good input method. So was that fairly correct, you think, Dan?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so it lets you keep credentials out of your CI flow, which we all just learned last week is pretty important. With the code cov incident.
Exactly. Yeah. So this way you can have unattended sign-in, but probably what we would recommend is that if there's a real strong security guarantee that's needed, then you could have like a CI system, a device flow that would do a keyless sign-in of a build. Okay, and that could be deployable as some sort of staged or pre-release. Okay, and then if somebody really wants super security guarantees, then you can have identities sign on top of it as well to stack up the consensus kind of thing.
I know I'm biased, but you could do this within Toto and just stack up attestations.
Yeah, sure.
And say, well, this was a CI sign. So want a sign from whoever owns the TV, or whatever it is, right?
It'll be GitHub in this instance. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. Very receptive to hearing that. Yeah. Okay. So let's see.
So YubiKey, just to be clear, YubiKey support, it's not signing with their key stored in a YubiKey, right? It's just like as a second factor with OIDC.
Nope. So it's actually, there's a couple different issues there. The YubiKey support lets you generate keys, manage the pins, pucks, management keys, and all that stuff on a YubiKey, and then sign with them.
So it's this even BGP?
No, so this uses the PIV interface, which, so it generates the EC-DSA key pair. You can get the attestation certificates, the device certificates, and all of that stuff out of it too, and reset the keys and do all of that. The 2FA stuff as part of the OIDC flow works, but it's kind of dependent on the OIDC provider. There is an OIDC, there's part of the OIDC spec where the relying party can request that it goes through the 2FA flow. Mike probably knows more, but nobody actually implements that. So none of the providers we found actually allow that claim where you can, or FullCO would be able to say, please actually force them to go through relogin and 2FA, and then they would return some attestation about that. It is spec'd, it's just nobody uses it, so we can't really rely on it yet. So if you have a YubiKey that supports the PIV interface, that'll all just work today.
Okay, got it. So no PGP.
Right.
Okay.
And we do there's some proposals around how to actually allow signing with FIDO2 tokens as well, which can work, but it's a little tricky. Take a look at there's an issue on the cosign repo I can link after on how we can make it work. I haven't been able to find a single other hardware device that supports PIV other than YubiKeys. So we may at some point if they end up dropping support for it, have to switch to this FIDO2 thing anyway, since that's, I assume in the near future, everyone's going to end up with the FIDO2 devices instead. Mike unmuted, maybe he knows one.
Yeah, we should probably talk about that because FIDO, the mechanisms, the flow is very different. The way that the keys are managed, they're managed off device.
Yeah, I got it working. I kind of copied how SSH does it. It's not amazing, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have been able to figure it out without reading the long doc the SSH maintainers wrote about what they did. But yeah, if anybody knows of other manufacturers making things that support the PIV interface, let me know and I'll order some and test it.
Something's not yet released, but it should be coming soon. It's the version 2 of the solo key, which just like got funded on Kickstarter. So they say they support PIV.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, they say they will. I tried this PIV key thing you linked just now, Eli, but I think it's only RSA 1024 is the only algorithm it supports, so I didn't bother ordering one.
I see. Yeah, I can ask around. We use something with HSMs, but I don't remember what's model.
Great. Okay. Monitor project. So Santiago.
I think we had not a lot of movement this week, mostly because I've been missing. But I had to spend some time documenting the architecture, and I think I'll be sharing some of the broader goals of the monitoring project. Next week, hopefully.
Great. Okay. So Sigstore, not a lot. So actually, no, a fair amount has happened. Jake did some good refactoring of the sign-in interface, implemented a signer, and I've got some rudimentary verification stuff that I've not really pushed up yet, but I want to sort of get a bit of time to bounce that off Santiago and yourself and Marina. So it's a little bit parked at the moment, but I got some stuff there. Okay, and there was some refactoring and some cosign code in as well, I remember. Priya worked on that. So let's see, Ruby plugin. So I've actually picked that up again. I'm going to really try and drive it, getting that done this week. And so it's now the OpenID scope dance is all working. So I get the email back. And just got to patch up for the key generation. After that, I will do the proof challenge and then post it off to Fulcio, get the certificate back. And then from there, we can start to look at, there's obviously the signing part, then we can start to look at the verification and how we wrap that into Ruby gems. So I'm going to try and hopefully get something done this week. So we should be able to get some Ruby gems folks together and do a demonstration for them. Cool. Okay, so last one would be Maven plugin. I know Bob can't make it today, but I believe he's...
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Bob's... Okay, great. Over to you.
Yeah. So I pushed up the first implementation of the working Maven plugin. We've got it submitted to a development snapshot, submitted to Maven Central, and I'll be publishing a blog post in the next day or two showing folks how to use that.
Brilliant. So Bob, what, just for me, you published something to Maven Central?
Yeah, so the Maven plugin itself, you have to publish the jar and the POM and everything else. So that
okay, so that makes it available.
An actual project that wants to sign needs to be able to go pull that.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so it's in their repository. I got you.
I could sign our Java version of Intoto with that. I think that'd be fun. That's a little project for my students. Is it just importing the plugin into the POM and then just using it as we usually do?
Yeah, I can send you a I'll send you a draft of the blog post, and maybe you can give it a dry run and make sure it works like it did on my machine, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah, and while on that note, if anybody has any Ruby gems that they're going to want signing, let me know. And that's going to be also, it's a plugin, but it becomes, we're able to implement a flag against the gems command. So you'll be able to run, I can't remember what the command is now, but gem or bundler, something or other. And then just pass in a Sigstore command and it will sign.
I can ask around and try to find some guinea pigs for that.
They should be receptive to it, I would hope. Anybody in that area.
Yeah.
Ruby gems. Great. Okay, so moving on quickly. Right, so let's go over to the Integrity Shield folks, and they're going to do a demo of some cool stuff they've been working on to integrate Integrity Shield with Sigstore. I know Yuji-san, it must be about 4 o'clock in the morning there, or what time is it? You managing to stay awake okay? Lots of coffee?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so over to you guys. You're welcome to do a quick intro if you like, and then you should be able to share and take it away.
Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Of course you can, yeah. You should be able to do that.
I think you need to unshare for them to unshare.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I need to. I forgot I was sharing. There you go. You should see it now. The little present now.
Okay. Yeah.
Should be bottom right corner. Present now.
Just a moment. I need to.
Take your time. You've got just over 30 minutes.
Yeah, I need to. I need to reopen this browser to share my screen.
Okay, sure.
Let me.
Dan, did you need any breakout time at all? No, cool.
Hello, can you see my screen?
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, hello. Thank you for giving us time to present our latest work around related to this Sigstore design work. I'm Yuji Watanabe from IBM. I'm joining with my colleague, Gajan, Hiro, and Rico. They are also on this call. I'm working on the Kubernetes security research with this team, and I'm presenting the latest POC in demonstration or with the integration with Sigstore. So, Gajan, can you introduce yourself? Okay. Can you see? Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we can
so
see and hear. Yes.
Yeah, let me explain. So let me start from the Integrity Shield product introduction. So this is open source project for the Kubernetes resource signing and admission controller enforcement. So this project is trying to add the signature on the Kubernetes resource, then enforce admission to the cluster at the this admission control. The high-level idea is normally the administrator applies a YAML file to cluster to configure the resource, but if it's modified, the cluster state become unstable. So if the this YAML is signed and it's verified on the admission controller, if it's modified, the admission controller can block the admission before actually applying to the. So that's the integrity shield. Okay. So the so how this is used, because the application is built, push image to with a signature to the image registry, and YAML is also produced for deploying this. Then YAML is committed to the Git repo. Then administrator or some CD pick this YAML, then deploy to the cluster. Then this YAML includes a reference to the image. Then image is pulled from the image registry. So in this flow, our admission controller checks the signature attached in the YAML file, the YAML. Then if this is okay, deployment is created. Our another admission controller called Portries, it's checks the image reference in the deployment, then checks the signature on the attached in the image. Originally, these work for the GPG signing key or X509. But now we are trying to extend this with cosine 2. So image is signed by cosine library, and then it's also verified in the cosine verify. So this part is we integrate with the current cosine code with this admission control. And we also need another signing for YAML. So we extended the current cosine YAML sign code to enable the YAML signing. So it's cosine sign YAML. Then it's verified in here. But background, these admission controller calls logic to fall in the cosine verify and cosine verify. So I will show the demo. Okay. So now I have simple YAML file for deploying some application. This is application. This is image, and I already pushed to the registry. This is if the no protection is enabled on the cluster, this deployment is successful. But if I try to this, then admission is blocked because this YAML file does not have any signature. So, but this in this namespace, signature must be attached. So this is integrity shield blocking. So then now I'm trying to add the signature. First, I will add the signature for the image reference in this deployment.yaml. Then is open the my Google ID. Then it's signed with my moment. Okay, now it's signed. So okay, then next this part is an extension for enabling the signing YAML. So subcommand sign YAML. So this is very similar to this original one, but we just added the signing YAML. So then same flow executed. Then YAML signing is done. So original YAML is this. Then new signed YAML is created. So signed YAML is like this. So it's added includes another some annotation for site certificate, message, and signature. So this is produced by Cosign too. Then we already signed the YAML file and image, and we can, for example, we can verify this YAML file with Cosign verify YAML. Then this says this is signed by my ID. Okay? So with this, we can deploy this YAML to cluster. Then because this is signed, so and admission controller accepts signature. Then resource is created. If we see the deployed YAML, so it includes a signature here. So it's coming to the Kubernetes API, then it's hooked by the admission control, then this signature is verified, then this deployment is persisted to the ATC. So this is the integrity shield mechanism. Let me. So by using this, this is a sample use case of the YAML signing. Basically, any YAML file, YAML for creating, updating the Kubernetes resource, it can be signed with this mechanism and enforced by this mechanism. But the scenario is operator bundle into it. So operator is like this. It's deployed. It's listed. Many publisher is published operate many various type of operator here. So it's it's coming to it's published on this Git registry repository, and many operator is pushed by many people, and it includes many YAML files, which defines how the operator should be deployed, what image should be deployed to the cluster. So as you can imagine, this integrity of this YAML file and the image integrity is really important. So the scenario is like this. So operator producer produce the bundle. It's basically YAML. And the operator image to the registry. Then this is deployed to the cluster, Kubernetes cluster. So for that, this operator, we apply the same cosine YAML mechanism for CouchDB operator and cockroach DB operator with different used by different users, then published to the registry. Then if I try, this is a sample. So this is a CouchDB operator bundles So all these YAML file is the ingredient of the bundle. So, and this is a cockroach DB case. So we put the sign and they pushed to the registry is signed image. Then if I try to install operator, so this is not deployed. This error is not, but operator is not deployed. This one. This is signed by the unauthorized assigner, so this is blocked. But if this, so this coach DB, the cockroach DB is signed by authorized assigner, so its verification passed on this admission controller, then it's deployed. So operator is deployed here. So we can use this cosine YAML and cosine tool and integration with admission controller for protecting the operator integrity. So this signer is defined by the policy. For example, okay, so we can specify the we can specify the common name for authorized signer's common name for per each image, and so we can switch the and this policy can be set on the per namespace. So we can specify the authorized signer per namespace by using this. Okay, so this is all of the demonstration. So I'm really happy if you have any feedback and comment. I hopefully we would like to contribute to the and collaborate the community project.
That's great. Thank you, Yuji-san. It's really good. So I've seen this before, so I don't have so many questions myself, but I think we spoke about this. Yeah, it'd be really interesting to look at where we can get you to contribute some of this upstream. Okay.
Yeah.
And we can look at where the best place to land that will be. And I'd also recommend adding the GitHub URLs to the community notes so that other people can take a look. But I think it's really cool work. I really like this. It's really great to see somebody starting to integrate and using the experimental stuff as well. So yeah, so I'm sure some other folks have got some questions though, so I can open up to.
I do. Sorry, I had to step out for just a bit because
sure.
Yeah, apartment stuff. But so I was curious to know how are you creating this like application bundles? Is this like a Cloud Pack or is this CNAP or what is it?
Sorry, could you say the last part?
Is it the which format are you using for this like application bundles?
Okay, so the bundle format is specified by the operator format. So operator is
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So the reason why I asked this, there's this Microsoft project called CNAP, Cloud Native Application Bundles. And they are using in Toto and Tough to do something very similar. But I think the twist here is that you can authenticate parts of a YAML.
Mhm.
So, and I think that's interesting for a variety of reasons. One of them is you may want a developer to define which images are trusted, but then you would have the CI fill in the blanks of which parts on other parts of the YAML. So having a way to actually distribute trust within an individual deployment YAML would be, I think, would be an interesting step for Integrity Shield.
Mhm.
I think this space in particular, it's pretty interesting because all of the trust really boils down to how can you actually create this YAML and how can you start trusting it. And in terms of usability, we've been seeing, and I think anybody that's using Portieres pretty much goes and says, well, it's pretty cool, but how can you tell whether to trust an image if it's not signed? And how can you actually tell which ones to verify?
Yeah.
So I think this is a step in the right direction. I would love to interact a little bit more, and I think that there's a lot of place for convergence in terms of distributing trust within this individual YAML files. And I think maybe in Toto could be a good format for like test policies.
Yeah.
So overall, very excited. Cool stuff.
Thank you so much. We will look into the in Toto.
Yeah, it would be good to see integration of this with Argo CD or Flux CD as well, because that's kind of the normal way rather than do manual deployments through kubectl.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So, and I think Luke said this, but if we were to try to get in touch with you, what's the best way to like reach out to you and your team and your project and how to interact?
We are on the Sigstore community Slack channel, so yeah. And so we are now using the public. Yeah, maybe this is not this is detailed things, but we are now developing some old version of the cosine. But the cosine and many code part is moving very fast. So we are now, we are wondering what is the best way to work with a very fast moving project like the cosine, Fusio. Yeah, so I'm really interested in how your team is developing your part in this collaboration.
Yeah, we're hoping to get at least the parts that I think you're using stable soon. So we'll still be moving fast, but hopefully we won't keep breaking things very soon. Next week or two, I'm hoping.
Thank you so much.
I just put in a link to. I just want to. I'm pretty sure this is the right repo because I see you did a commit on there recently, Yuji. I put in the chat. It's Open Cluster Management Integrity Shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, do you have the cosine stuff in a specific branch, or?
Yeah, it's on the branch. It's okay. Let me post. Okay. This part.
Great. Okay. Put that into the meeting minutes. Yeah. So yeah, just to round up again, I think let's look at how we can get your work upstream. Okay, because it makes sense to have the YAML signing in, doesn't it?
I think, yeah, we'll have to look at it. It makes sense to have it somewhere. We have to figure out where. Like Santiago said, there are some formats for kind of bundling the YAML.
Would the kitchen sink be better than cosine?
I don't know yet. We'll have to.
Yeah, sure.
We can think about it a bit.
Okay. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, and just trying to think, how could Santiago and Yuji, if you were to meet to discuss CNAB and in Toto, what would be the best sort of action item there.
I think we could set up a slot at some point, maybe this week or next week, and discuss a little bit. I could also plug in the CNET people, and maybe they're interested in trying this whole thing. I think it's worthwhile to have like an ecosystem that's sort of at least talking to each other, so we can know how to better coordinate things.
So would it be useful to bring Yuji into a CNAB meeting, or?
I think so. I haven't been in like a year, but I can tell.
Trishank is on CNAB as well, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do have a spec on this whole like bundle stuff with the security section. Maybe that's the best first step, and then we can see how we can take this forward. I don't mean to like also shoehorn CNAB in it. I just think that it's worth looking at.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess you folks can ping each other on Slack, can't you, to get in contact on the Sigstore Slack?
Yeah, I think so. I'll do that.
And there's a CNAB channel I know on the CNCF Slack. Yes. Great, fantastic. Okay, so is there any other questions at all? Cool. Okay, that's a great demo. I really appreciate that. We'll let you get to bed now, Yuji-san.
Thank you so much.
What time is it? What's your time?
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Okay, not too bad, but getting late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very much appreciated. And you folks are welcome onto, come to the other community meetings that, next week and the week after as well. So great. Yeah. Okay. So we're getting towards time. Is there anything that anybody wanted to bring up? We're kind of in our breakout area now. So if somebody had something they wanted to kind of clarify or go over, they can do, or we can close.
Briefly. I was just interested in I've been trying to do a bit of outreach for Sigstore and to talk to different projects. And I think I'd really enjoy collaborating with other people on that. Maybe I started a document. I think it's still sadly Red Hat only so far, but I could just, have a shared document where we could sort of describe if we know people in certain communities rather than just coming up, cold without knowing anybody. It's always better.
Sure.
And who we're already talking to. For instance, we know we're doing things with Java, with Maven and Ruby gems. I see that there's a mention of PyPy, so that's also something cool. Obviously, Rust is something we'd want to reach out to. I've started having some answers or some interest from people from the Matrix ecosystem and from Tor potentially. At least there was one positive answer to the email I sent. With proposition for like improvements. So it would be good to sort of have a place to discuss these things and sort of do them together.
Makes sense, yeah. So there's an outreach channel in Slack. It's worth jumping on there. And I just think Dan Kim might be quite good to speak to as well. She's been doing a little bit as well. I saw a message saying she got in contact with some PHP folks.
Okay.
So,
okay, great. Well, I'm going to try and get the outreach room a bit more active.
Sure. And we can give you a little spot on this meeting as well, just to kind of flag up any responses that you've had or queries or anything of that ilk.
Yeah, absolutely. Because answers so far, response has been pretty good. It's just it's not always very clear what the next step would be for some of these people. So,
sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
We're going to come up with a system for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the meeting would be good because then you can we can get the right people to talk to the audience that you found. Great. Okay.
That's good.
So any other matters just before we close? No, going, gone. Okay, great. Well, I will see you all next week, and stay safe and catch you then. Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.